is Jessica Delacruz for Women Musicians of Orlando, and I am here with Caiti Patton. Tell me about the video for Seeing Smoke.
The video for Seeing Smoke was probably one of the most fun experiences that I've had thus far with my music. From the beginning to the end, I just absolutely loved the whole entire process. About a month and a half before the video was shot, I went up to Ohio, which is where I'm from, and I recorded the song with my producer. And after things started coming together in the studio, I thought to myself, this song needs a really great video. So I contacted the director, and unfortunately he had just relocated to Franklin, Tennessee.
Oh.
Yeah, he had done some music videos for some of my musician friends in the area, and I loved his work, so I contacted him, and he was like, oh, I just relocated to Franklin, actually, and I was like, oh, that kind of sucks, but after we discussed the premises of the video, we kind of decided that maybe the scenery in Franklin, Tennessee would be more appropriate for this video than it would be in Orlando, Florida. So I decided to fly up there for the video. We shot it in 3 days, and by the time we were, 3 days had passed, it was shot and filmed and edited, and I had the video in my possession, and I brought it home, and then I released it shortly after, and it was just one of the best experiences, and I just proved to myself that I was able to get so many things done, and it was a huge learning experience too, just putting everything together from start to finish. The music, I worked with my fashion designer Chelsea, was amazing. She made the dress from scratch with me, and we picked all the fabric out together, and worked on the design and everything, and then I worked working with Nick on the storyline and everything. I had so much fun doing it. The whole entire process was so much fun, and I was just so happy with the outcome of everything.
Yeah, so. It looks great. It really fits with the song, like the theme of the song together.
So I'm really glad that I decided. It was kind of just like a happy coincidence that Nick had relocated to Franklin, and everything kind of just came together so well. So
it's meant to be.
Glad that everything turned out the way that it did.
Awesome. So what really got you into music?
Oh gosh, I grew up in a very musical family. I would probably have to say that my dad and my older sister definitely got me into music. My dad, he used to volunteer every Saturday at the church's chapel, and he would do the music for them. And as all of us started playing instruments, like we would go help him out. And at one point we had a family quartet. My brothers played violin and my sister played cello, and then I was the youngest, so my only choice was the viola. So viola was my first instrument I started learning to play, and so that was like the start of everything, and then I eventually got into other instruments and singing, and I got involved with musical theater in middle school, and I absolutely fell in love with it, and the feeling of performing. And soon after, I started writing my own music, and it's been a process, but slowly things just started to develop into my own kind of musical tastes and original music. So from a very early age, I was exposed to it.
Exactly.
And, so I've kept it going, and I don't think I could ever really stop. So
I could definitely tell with the whole music theater background. You have such a great stage presence.
Thank you.
So
Thanks.
Totally.
Sometimes I am a little self-conscious of it,
of course.
I'm working on it, and that's always something that I'm working on as far as stage presence go. You want to put on a good performance.
Exactly.
You want to be a good entertainer as well as a musician. So those two things together are definitely really important to me. So
great. So tell me about your writing process when you write songs.
Oh, my writing process. It has changed over the years. I think when an artist first starts out, they're more prone to writing about self-experiences, experiences that they have on the, just it's a great healing process, healing tool, writing about your own experiences. And recently I've actually dived into the area of putting myself into somebody else's shoes, and switching kind of characters in a song, and that's what I did actually with Seeing Smoke. And when I do the whole process, I usually start with lyrics first. Everyone's kind of different with what they start with. I always start with lyrics. I put a lot of emphasis on my words, which people will notice. I really spend most of my time on the lyrics. And then from the lyrics, I will kind of gather a melody from that. But with my last couple of songs, I've kind of tried to switch up the process.
Okay.
So when I wrote Seeing Smoke, my producer and I sat down and we actually just came up with a chord progression and the general drum beat, and we went on opposite sides of the room and just wrote to this, chord progression and this drum beat and whatever, came to our heads, and then we came together and we're like, okay, we're like, I like this, don't like that, like this, and we actually came up with the story in our heads of what the story was about, and it was just a wonderful process, and it's nice having somebody else there to aid with the writing process. And that's what I've learned over the past couple of years, is that a lot of people will do a writing process with another person, or multiple people, and that's when a lot of really great ideas come about, is when you're writing with other people. So, yeah. Okay.
So, how do you deal with writer's block?
Writer's block. Oof. That's a tough one. I just try and write as much as I can, even when I don't think I have anything I need to write.
Keep going.
It's kind of, what I do is I kind of keep a journal, basically. I write everything, I try and write almost journal type every single day in this notebook, any lines or any subjects. It doesn't have to be a song form. I just write what I'm thinking. Just brainstorm. And after, having all of this random brainstorm in your notebook, there's a certain point where you can be like, gosh, I don't really have anything to write, but then you can refer back to this notebook that has all of these different ideas in it, and you can kind of take a line that you wrote down here, and you're like, that kind of looks like something I could possibly, start an idea or another song with. So I just basically just keep this big notebook full of different brainstorming ideas, and then I just have something to revert back to as far as when on a day that I'm not feeling very inspired, I have a whole notebook full of things that I can look back into and say, hey, I liked what I said there, maybe I can expand on that, and shift things around. So that's my process, and that's what I do as far as writer's block goes. And you've got your brainstorming book, you've got your idea book where you've just jotted down a bunch of things, and you can kind of splice things together. Oh, I kind of like that, what I said there, and I'm gonna write that down. So
yeah, that's pretty smart.
It works. Does a job.
Yeah. You as an artist, traveling around wherever you go, when you first started, what is the thing that you know now that you wish you knew before?
Oh gosh. Networking and connecting with others in your circle is so important, and you should basically treat it like a full-time job. It really is. Reaching out to other artists, reaching out to other people, just connecting and networking, and I think that is something I'm working on still, and that's something that I would probably push to anybody who's really, trying to make themselves, a little larger in their community, and networking basically is pretty key. It's a job in itself, so it's time consuming. You gotta go out there and you gotta reach out, and soon people will start to reach out to you. So yeah.
Great. So that's probably the biggest thing that you would advise any other aspiring singer-songwriter is networking.
Yeah, it's in a business sense. If you're trying to build your brand or your business, networking is huge. And as far as an artist goes, just continually working on new music and working with other artists, and kind of just broadening your horizons as far as what you're open to doing, and soon lots of doors will start to open for you, and things will start to snowball.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. So what is your favorite part about the Orlando music scene?
My favorite part about the Orlando music scene is that it's very supportive, and a lot of people, when they first think of Orlando, they say, oh, Disney or whatever, but they don't realize that there's such a close-knit of musicians here that are truly, genuinely helping each other out, and I've just met so many wonderful people who believe in me, and who are just genuinely talented people who you can definitely rely on, and it's just a wonderful circle to be in, and I love being in this circle of musicians. I've contemplated moving before, and then I'm just like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I like this area too much, and I like the people that I've met too much, because it's just a wonderful, close-knit group of people who are always supporting each other, and you actually want to go out and support these artists because they are so talented, and yeah, it's just a wonderful support system to have.